Hi, today we are debunking some popular photography myths, and let's start with one that I think most photographers absolutely hate, which is, oh, your camera takes great pictures. Ooh, yeah. Let's put it to a test and see what photos can this camera take. Come on, do something. Jokes aside, of course, you are the one that takes great photos. Without your knowledge, creative idea or skills to execute it properly, camera is just an useless, although pretty expensive, piece of junk. Only in your hands, it becomes something more. The second myth is on the opposite side of things. The gear doesn't matter. Well, if you know what you're doing, you can take superb photos with a cheap disposal camera or your phone. But if, for an example, you want to take aerial shots, you will need a drone. If you want to take macro shots, you will need a macro lens, and so on and so on. The gear enables you to do more. It is also worth mentioning that the more expensive gear, especially lenses, often produce better results than the cheap ones in terms of pure quality. The next myth is don't shoot against the sun. This one comes from the times of analog photography. You see, film has worse dynamic range than digital. In simple terms, the higher the dynamic range, the better your camera handles high contrast scenes, like shooting into the sun, without losing any details in dark shadows or bright sky. With analog photography, you have to be very mindful not to overexpose your highlights, as these cannot be recovered later. Modern digital cameras with their huge dynamic range are much more forgiving, and you can even take a pitch black photo and turn it into something somewhat usable later. Of course, you still have to be a bit careful with your highlights, but it is not as big of a deal as it used to be. The fourth myth is always shoot the lowest possible ISO. People are afraid of using it because they know it introduces noise into the photos. That is true, but first of all, modern cameras handle noise very well, so values like 800, 2000, 4000 are more than usable. Secondly, software we have nowadays can denoise your photos, and it does a pretty good job. It's almost magic. Last but not least, sometimes noise can be beneficial if you're going for that rusty, textured look. Don't be afraid to put ISO to higher values if you need to. It's a tool and it's meant to be used. Last but not least, editing doesn't matter. Oh boy. Yes, you can shoot in JPEG format and your camera will produce okay looking photos ready to be posted on social medias. But we spent all that money on gear to get the most out of it. That's why you should shoot in RAW format, as it gives you the most flexibility in editing. I could tell you how important it is, what difference it makes, but I think I'll just show you some photos that I took before and after editing, so you can judge by yourselves. So that's it, folks. 5 popular photography myths debunked. I hope you learned something useful and enjoyed this little video of mine. Thanks so much for watching. As always, stay awesome, and of course, I'll see you, yes, in the next one.